Most people think that downsizing is all about getting rid of stuff, but honestly, it's usually about really letting go of a version of life that you are living in. And if you're over 55 and you were thinking about moving or downsizing or simplifying, or even just wondering whether your current home still fits your current season in life, there's a side of this conversation that really almost nobody talks about honestly, because this isn't just about square footage. It's about the hallway where your kids took their prom pictures. It's about the pencil marks that are on the walls where you have measured your kids and your grandkids. It's the kitchen where Thanksgiving always happens every single year, or the bedroom that has been empty for years because your child is away at college. But you still can't quite change the room. And today I want to have a very real conversation about that emotional side of downsizing, especially here in Kansas City, where so many families have stayed rooted in the same home for literally decades. Especially here in Kansas City, where so many families have stayed rooted in the same homes for decades. So if you've been emotionally torn about moving, this video is for you. Hi friends, I'm Anita. I'm a real estate agent here in the Kansas City metropolitan area. And one thing that I have learned after walking alongside so many clients in this season of life is this: downsizing, it's rarely just a housing decision. It's emotional, it's personal, and sometimes it feels surprisingly heavy, especially for homeowners 55 and older who have spent 20 years, 30 years, sometimes even 40 or more years in the same home. And today, I want to just have a candid conversation with you and talk about the part that nobody really prepares you for. It's not about the packing, it's not about the market, it's not about the moving truck, it's the heart side of it. And also too, I want to invite you to write in the comments while you are watching this video, because your voice is important about your experiences. And some people find things really challenging during downsizing, but others, they don't have such a bad experience. It's not that bad. So please feel free to write your experiences in the comments, because your experience will most assuredly help someone else who actually may be going through the same thing. One thing people don't realize until they're facing a move like this is your home has quietly become, honestly, a part of your identity. It's not intentional, but over time, your home became connected to things like your role as a parent, your routines every day, the things that you do day in and day out, your traditions, your memories, your friends, and all of your surroundings, where you go to eat and where do you go to grocery shop. And after decades, it can almost feel like leaving the house means that you're leaving part of yourself behind, especially if you've raised your family in that home. I've sat at kitchen tables with Kansas City homeowners who've told me things like, I know this house is too much right now, but I don't know who I am without it. And just being completely honest with you, that feeling is more common than people want to admit. Because for years, your home has represented so many things, like providing for your family and building a life and creating memories of traditions and surviving hard seasons and then celebrating good ones. Your home has become literally the backdrop of your whole story. And sometimes when people say, I'm not ready to move, what they really mean is, I'm not ready to let go of this chapter. One of the hardest parts emotionally is the mental shift from viewing your home as now a house that you're trying to sell. It's a place that you've called home for so long, but it really must become a house emotionally inside of you. And this is one of the things that I help coach downsizers with. It's not usually as easy as people think. And once you make that mental shift of having a house to sell instead of your home, it does make it feel lighter, like the load is emotionally lighter. And of course, another part that's hard is while you love the home, it's quiet now, and especially after your kids have grown up, there's something about walking past bedrooms that used to be full of life and having those amazing memories and knowing that when you move, there won't be that room anymore. And now, you know, that the toys are gone from your kids and the sports schedules are all gone and the beautiful chaos of raising a family or doing things, it's just all gone. And suddenly the house that once felt too small now feels too big. And here's what's interesting. A lot of homeowners, they stay in their home because they feel guilty about leaving the family home. But can I say something really gently here? Your memories, those wonderful times around the dining room table on Thanksgiving and opening up presents at Christmas, or that bunco game night that lit up your home with laughter, or the 3 Christmas trees that you have scattered around your home, those memories, they are not trapped inside of your walls. The love, the tradition, the family, the friends, those things, they will all go with you. And sometimes adult children don't even want the house, but parents stay because it's an emotional attachment to the home and it feels wrong to leave. Meanwhile, you're maintaining various things like unused rooms, a large yard, stairs that you don't need, basements full of things that no one touches anymore, including your children might still have things in your basement. And deep down, you're just exhausted. Now let's talk practically for just a minute, because this emotional conversation is happening all over Kansas City right now. I've had countless conversations with people, which is why I'm making this video, in hopes that something that I say will resonate with you or your family members, and including your adult children. And if you are an adult child helping your parent through this and navigate this, stick around towards the end because I have a special message just for you too. So Kansas City Metro, it's rapidly growing in the 55 plus population. And one thing that we're seeing more and more of is homeowners are staying in their home a lot longer than what they have in the past and what they even planned for. So part of that is emotional, and it's emotional attachment, but part of it is really the uncertainty of the market. And part of it is one spouse may be ready while the other one isn't there yet. And part of this could be fear that if I move, will I regret it? But here's the reality. Kansas City has become an incredibly attractive place for downsizing and retirement life. It's for several reasons, because, you know, compared to larger markets, the housing here is still relatively affordable. And then property taxes in some surrounding areas are more manageable, and we have strong suburban communities here, and a lot of them are maintenance free or maintenance provided, and there's a lot of options regarding that. And so people are realizing that. And if you are not wanting just a maintenance provided community, but you would rather have a 55 plus community with a bit more age restrictions, we have some great options. So click on my Calendly link that's in my description and get on my calendar for an appointment, and we can kind of go over what's available, and I can send you some properties that you might like in Overland Park, Lenexa, Olathe, Lee Summit, Raymore. There's options in Blue Springs, and then parts of the Northland. All of these places are seeing an increase in the interest from downsizers looking for things like one level living, maintenance provided, and the 55 plus communities, lock and leave options or lifestyles, and just simpler day-to-day living. And honestly, many people tell me that after they move into a new home and they've gone through all of the changes, they say to me, "Oh my goodness, Anita, I wish we would have done this sooner." Now let's talk about the fear that nobody really wants to say out loud. And that fear is regret. Because many people worry and they say, "I love my house. What if I miss it? What if this ends up being a wrong choice? What if I downsize too much and end up regretting giving away my old dishes or whatever? What if I lose part of my family history? And those all are really valid questions and very valid feelings. But here's something that I have noticed in my years of real estate. People rarely regret simplifying. What they regret is waiting too long to enjoy life differently, waiting until the stairs become dangerous, the maintenance becomes overwhelming, health forces the decision, or life just suddenly changes unexpectedly. Sometimes the home that once served your family in such a beautiful way becomes a burden that you're carrying emotionally and physically. And I think that there's freedom in acknowledging that fact in an honest fashion, because this next chapter that you are wanting to get to, it doesn't have to feel like you've lost something. It can actually feel relief. And let me tell you about my parents. I have this special story. I helped them make a move in 2020, which was right in that beginning stages of COVID, or right in the middle of it. And they had spent years wondering if it was the right time. And, you know, my mom was actually ready, but my dad, not so much. And it was a really long process of getting him to be ready, especially, you know, at one point they were dealing with some health issues and my dad fell down half a flight of stairs onto the concrete. And I just don't want that life situation to happen to you. But I understand the emotional thing about going through this move. They lived in their home for over 40 years and it was a challenging situation for them to go through. I'm not gonna lie, it was hard for them, but they did it. They moved to Virginia. Now, this is the part that people don't expect when downsizing. It's the freedom afterwards, the freedom of less maintenance, especially if in your maintenance-free housing or a community. There's less stress, there's less cleaning, there's less stuff, but also there is more margin and more time for travel and spending time with relationship building, hobbies, volunteering at your church, faith, grandkids, health. There's so many benefits of downsizing and getting into a place. There's also peace. It's interesting because I've had clients tell me after they downsize, the first time in years I have felt lighter. And not because they moved into some giant luxury home. It's sometimes they moved into something a lot more simpler, smaller, easier. But emotionally, they finally had room to breathe again. And honestly, there's one reason I think that downsizing after 55 is less about getting rid of things and more about intentionally choosing how you actually live your life, moving forward, what you want your life to look like, what you want your friends to be surrounding you with. Now, here's the message for all of you adult children who are watching this. And if your adult children is not watching this, be sure and share this with them. I know that you're trying to help your parents through this process, but please give them grace, because what looks like just a house to you might represent their hardest years, their best memories, sacrifices they've made, and sacrifices they've made for you, milestones that they celebrated. This process can feel emotional because it is emotional. And sometimes parents aren't resisting the move per se, they're grieving a season, and that deserves compassion. That's one of the things that I've learned through the process. Like when I was helping my parents, I definitely learned that. I mean, they both went through a process of grieving, and each one went through a process of grieving at different speeds. So be patient with your parents, and feel free to call me at any time if you want some coaching along the way about what it's like to help your elderly parents downsize or move from a long-standing house. Now, at some point, every season changes, and there's something beautiful about recognizing when it's time to step intentionally into the next season. Not fearfully, but intentional. Not reactive, but intentional. Not because you have to, but because you're ready for it. Because you're choosing a lifestyle that supports who you are now. And if you're in that season right now, I just want you to know You're not crazy for being emotional and feeling like this is so hard. You're not crazy. You're not alone. That doesn't mean that you're making the wrong decision. It means that the life that you built up to this point has mattered and has been amazing, and it's hard to leave what you thought was there, and that's a beautiful thing. So if you're navigating downsizing, retiring, or a move right here in Kansas City and you just want somebody to talk to about it and walk you through some of the conversations in an honest fashion with you, I'd love to help. No pressure, no sales pitch, just helping you. Just real conversations that are honest about what this next chapter could look like for you. And if this video resonated with you, then leave a comment below, because you never know who you're going to help. I genuinely love to hear what part of the downsizing scares you, what part has been hardest for you, what part has been an emotional challenge, because I promise you, when you write the comments in and somebody else is reading your comment, they probably are gonna feel the exact same thing that you are, and you might be able to help somebody as well. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to talk, be sure and click on my Calendly link. I would love to help you.